Club Veto is on. Your only connection to the very important top officer and unlimited sales success. Your host, Anthony Parinello, is a best-selling author. He's trained over 2 million sales professionals and 65 of the Fortune 100. This program will take you to sales heaven and keep you out of sales hell. So turn it up. Now, here's your host, Tony Parinello.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, it's me, Tony Parinello, your next best friend and the thorn that is sticking in the side of every single one of your competitors. And here's why. We show up regularly here to help you get the appointments that you need at the C level with the ultimate decision makers to totally crush your quota. Now, of course, this takes a little hard work. Not a little hard work. It takes a lot of hard work. I'm here to help you do it, and today I have someone else that can help you do it. And today, we have our business building coach, Steve Dailey, joining us. Now, before I bring Steve in to the show here, let me tell you something about Steve Dailey. This guy walks his talk, period. When he gives you advice, it's not armchair advice. It's advice that he has not only given himself and taken, but he's given to hundreds of other entrepreneurs, salespeople, and just people in general. Coach Steve's advice works not only in business, not only in building a great career, and not only building balance in your life, but every other aspect of your life you can think about. And what he tells you, you can share with others. So don't be selfish with this information you're about to receive. So on the heels of that, Coach Steve, welcome.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks for the generous roll up there.
You bet, brother.
Appreciate that.
You bet.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Today I would like to explore the world of success, since that you have made a wonderful career out of giving people the opportunity to become more successful. You've done it for a number of people that are in our community. You've done it for a number of clients that you and I have shared over the years, and you've done it for me. So let's get started by you telling everybody your definition of success.
Gosh, and you want me to do it in less than an hour?
I want you to do all this in about 10 minutes, yeah.
Okay. Well, what comes immediately to mind, Tony, is purposed pursuit. Let me just leave it at that. Purpose pursuit. So what I mean by that is, so much, and gosh, this is so true for those of us that have traveled around the barn a few times, as they say. We get into a place in life where, life is running us instead of us running life. And the people that I've worked with over the years that tend to be the most frustrated and at the same time the most receptive to my help is when we sort of hit the reset button on what are you doing and how come. And when a person is in constant, is aware of until it becomes an unconscious competency, aware of until it's unconscious, that it's automatic to be in purposed pursuit of whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're endeavoring, an outcome that's gratifying, fulfilling, and again has a purpose. Then we're in the domain of success.
So is it fair to say then, if you want to be successful, you need to have a purposeful pursuit to start out? Is that like a trait that is amongst the people that you've helped become more successful?
I would say yes. A valid, thoughtful motive versus simply tangential, random, driven by somebody else, driven by habits, routines that we've basically fallen or evolved into. Yes, absolutely.
Would you also put the word specific in there, valid, specific, thoughtful motive, or can it be very general?
I think general is good too. The more specific you are, the more focused you can be with your planning. And so specificity comes into play with things like productivity and velocity. So let's say we want to get from point A to point B. Knowing generally what point B is, why we're pursuing that, then that's most important. But if you want to drill down on how fast, how boldly or assertively, then yes, specificity absolutely comes into play there.
Okay, let me add a couple more little definitions here. You've said focused, and then you said bold and assertively. Are these also traits of the successful people you've coached?
Yeah, in summary, that's a great pickup there, Tony. In summary, it's courage, stepping into being willing to embrace the uncertainty. Again, let's just visualize. You're standing at point A, and draw a line across the page to point B. Put some flowers and stars and a nice esoteric cloud around it. That's the destination. The line between point A and point B is just completely riddled with uncertainty, on things that aren't known, lack of clarity, probably the stark realization of areas of low competency or even incompetency. It's a mess, really, when you take a look at moving from point A to point B, unless you have courage, unless you are willing to take a step. I'm visualizing that movie. I think it was one of the Raiders of the Lost Ark movies where the guy has to travel across this abyss, and he just simply puts his foot out, and magically there appears a stone or a step of some kind, and then he does it again and again. That takes really authentic, bold courage, for sure.
So courage, then, is the next necessary ingredient, but that not only is a powerful trait, it's a powerful word. It reminds me of the lion who couldn't roar, or didn't have a roar, or didn't have a voice. I know this is like a big question, but if you don't have courage, or you don't feel you have courage, do you fake it so you could make it? Or are there certain ingredients that are underneath this word courage? Because that's a big one. And then you said the unknown and uncertainty. I wrote down uncertainty. I think you said unknown. That's the next trait I think we would need to have, is to be able to handle uncertainty and the unknown, because you said from point A to point B, all sorts of stuff can happen. So let's go back to the courage. So how do we develop courage?
It's a muscle. You and I have talked a lot about mindset, and I think courage is a mindset. But you don't develop a muscle, you don't develop a competency without starting small, starting with one thing, one step, like they say, eating an elephant one bite at a time. And so courage, the development of courage, is basically challenging yourself to step into what you are willing, what is, and this, by the way, this ties directly back to what we were saying at the beginning. Success, purpose, pursuit. Success is basically defined first and foremost by motive, authentic, purpose, motive. And so when you are clear about that, then what are you willing to do to pursue that motive, to take the step? What's the first, most simplistic thing that you can do, action that you can take, preparation that you can make in order to begin the journey? And once you take a step, you make a movement, you start to advance, then you'll feel more confident about the next thing and the next thing, and all of a sudden you'll be taking not just hops but leaps.
Coach Steve, this is a very powerful moment for me personally, because what you just said makes so much sense with building courage to tackle something unknown, and it's a muscle. So So what I got from this is that if I'm looking at a daunting task, let's just say in my life or my business or anywhere, relationships, whatever,
Sure.
daunting task, and I don't have the courage to take the first step, maybe I should step aside and do something small, something unrelated, something that I've never done before to see myself build the muscle of handling uncertainty, handling the unknown, and building my courage muscle. So then
That's
I could
perfect.
approach the harder stuff with more confidence.
Absolutely. It's dead on, Tony. And here's what you're not saying that's so very powerful is that just by doing that, you're moving. You're moving forward. Most people, what's the saying? When everything is all said and done, more is said than is done. And so,
Oh, that's perfect. No,
yeah,
that is so perfect because you're so right. We
yeah,
can
and
talk about it for a long time, but taking action on it is always the
that's right.
difference between the achievement of it or just the thinking about it.
That's exactly right. And so just one little thing is a little thing. I wrote a very small book here years ago called The Three Simple Truths.
Yep.
And the three simple truths, I'll just do the summary is something's better than nothing, averages count, and life is defined by choice, not chance. And so something's better than nothing, and the something's average over time, and the averages count, and it is a choice. When you make a conscious choice, rather than waiting for chance, then life unfolds before you rather than going by you. And so, you got it.
You know, Coach Steve, here again, in a very short amount of time, you've given us not a bucket of knowledge, but a whole wheelbarrow full of knowledge and information that now we need to take some action on. So how about giving us, as you so often do, and you do it so well, give us a homework assignment to get this started so we start developing the mindset that gives us the courage to become more successful at anything we want to be more successful at.
Great. So I would say to spend some time today. This is something you must do today. Whether you're listening to this real time or a recording, spend some time. I would dedicate 30 minutes to an hour. Find a quiet place, grab a cup of coffee, probably some sort of a little notebook or a piece of paper to write on, and just write up at the top of the page or at the very, top of of whatever you're noting in there. Just put, what is my most neglected, passionate pursuit? What is my most neglected, passionate pursuit? Because there's always something. There's always something that It could be time with kids. It could be time with a special person. It could be taking action on a job or a business or a wealth-generating activity. It could be a small thing. It could be a big thing. What is the one thing? And then ask yourself, obviously write that down, and then ask yourself, what's the first thing that I can do today to make movement from where I am to realizing that passionate pursuit?
Coach Steve, once again, I want to thank you so much for being who you are and doing what you do and helping us all become more successful. And on that note, we're going to wrap it up. Remember, Coach Steve is available to each and every one of us. Coach Steve, tell everybody how to get in touch with you directly. I understand, and I don't know if you still do this, but do you still offer people to get on your schedule?
Without a doubt. I love doing that. I know that people that make the move to get on my calendar are ready to go, ready to take action on something. And no matter whether they work with me or not, I can definitely help them, and I'm happy to give an hour. So just go to achievementbridge.com, achievementbridge.com. And it'll be obvious there how you can connect with me, jump on my calendar, schedule a time to visit. I'd love to hear about your passionate pursuits, your goals, where you're heading in life, and contribute to you in any way that I can.
What's the investment someone has to make to get on your calendar other than to going to the website and clicking a time and an availability? What does that cost?
I don't know. How many calories does it take to click the mouse? There's no charge. There's no expense. It's just it's doing it. It's taking that little step. That's all there is.
Okay, folks, you heard it. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Take Coach Steve up on his advice. Get more golden advice from Coach Steve. And I'm going to call it a wrap. So, Coach Steve, again, thanks for being who you are and doing what you do. Everybody else, you just keep dialing in and keep listening. We'll see you next time. If you want to get on the fast track and get all those C-suite appointments you've worked hard for and deserve so you could sell more faster and crush your quota in the process, then all you need to do is go to our site, VitoSalesTraining.com. Click on the Take Action tab, scroll down till you see the Vito University logo, and check it out. And in the meantime, have yourself a masterful rest of the day. Bye-bye.